Okay, we're going to get started. I'll just keep adding people as they come in. Feel free to unmute yourself whenever you have a question or want me to just go over something again or, search up something for you because today is going to be a more interactive because some, hi, because some classes, companies have different return and exchange policies. So they're going to be different depending on which company you shopped at. So we're going to get started. So because the holidays are here and they're started, each company is going to have a different policy, especially for the holidays. So if you did buy a gift, whether that's online or at the store, make sure you check your receipt because you may actually not have enough time to go back. Like the general policies is 30, 60, or 90 days. However, with the holiday season, with ordering in December, you may not get those full 30 days. Sometimes they just say, before January, maybe the first or second week, you have to bring it back if you do want to exchange or return it. So if you did buy a present or got a gift, anything like that, please make sure to look at your receipts to see how many days you have left. But if you are planning on returning or exchanging any gifts, always make sure to keep the original packaging and receipt. If you did throw away the original packaging, that is fine. You could always put it in something else, but a lot of stores, like even Amazon, they advise you to put it in the original packaging. And with Amazon, some of the packages that you get when they put it in the plastic one, you could actually fold it inside out and use the same exact packaging. So they make it like reusable, but I only know that Amazon does that. Also, if you are returning an item that is damaged, so the reason why you're returning it is because it was broken or it doesn't work, make sure you do take photos the first day you receive it and that you notice that it's damaged. So you have physical proof of the day you took the photo, that it came in the mail like that, and you weren't the one who did the damaging. So sometimes Amazon lets you send a picture of your product that's damaged. Sometimes you just say the reasoning and they'll still give you a refund. But some companies do say to send them the photos of what happened. So those are always the first important steps to do when you're getting ready to return or exchange an item. So with returning orders, there's a small process that you have to go through if you never returned anything, especially with online gifts. So with online gifts, you do need to print the return shipping label. Usually these shipping labels are prepaid and you don't have to pay for it, but it does depend on the company. So not all companies are going to have you print the shipping label for free. But the shipping label is going to have all the information that you need to process your return. And I'm going to go over through a website of Macy's so you can see how the return process works with printing a label online if you've never done that before. So after you do ship and get the shipping label, you're going to want to pack all the items, like I said, back into the original packaging or another packaging that's in like the same one of the same boxes or the same size. Always do your best to replicate it the way you got it. And depending on the company, you're going to put it either in a USPS or FedEx drop-off location. If it is Amazon and you do live by the center, our local Rite Aid has the Amazon hub lockers where you could actually just put it inside of there in the locker in Amazon, right there on those crescent, and they'll open up the locker and get your package that way. You can also get items delivered that way as well, but that's only with Amazon. If it's another company, FedEx or USPS. Does anybody have questions on that? Okay, so the next page you're going to see is how it looks like when you want to get an online shipping label, especially with Macy's. But I screenshotted how it looks on Macy's because this is really how it's going to look like in any other website if you did get a gift online, or if someone else gave you a gift through purchasing it online, or even in the future if you decide to do online shopping. So with Macy's, you have two options. Keep in mind that not all websites will have these two options. So if I'm gonna just circle it so you could all see. On the left-hand side of the screen, you have sign in. That's the first option. And then the second option over here, number 2, is enter order number. So those are the two things you're going to do when you want to get a shipping label online. So in particular with Macy's, you'd have those two options. If you have an account with Macy's, they're automatically going to have all your information, the order number, your name, your shipping address, where to return it. That's why if you do have an account with any website, the first option is better because they're going to have it all ready and set for you. You don't have to worry about going crazy trying to find the receipts with the order number or the email. Instead, you just put your email address and your password for that specific company, and the return process is going to be very easy. However, if you do not have an account with Macy's or any other account for any other website where you bought something online or got gifted something online, you're going to have to do step number 2, which is on the right-hand side of the screen, which is enter your order number. So that order number is either going to be on the receipt you got when they mailed you the product. It's either going to be in a confirmation email or even a text message. So depending on what you did the day of purchasing the item, if you gave them your email address, it's most likely going to be inside of your email somewhere. If you gave them a text message, it might be in your text message, because sometimes with companies now, you get text messages saying order number, and then it's like a long 16-digit code is being shipped to your house in a few days, or it's shipped, or it has been delivered. So if you don't have an account, which is step 1, make sure you find that 16-digit code, you type it in right there, and then you fill out the rest. So it's going to ask you, what's your order number? Was this a gift? What was your email, or what was your phone number that you provided? So some people don't like to put their email or phone number when they are shopping online. However, it is critical, especially for returns and exchanges, because if you never provided them with an email or phone number, it's going to be very hard for them to trace back your order when you got it, and if it was actually you who purchased the item. So even just maybe even creating an email specifically for just shopping online, it can always be a great option. So if you're someone who doesn't like getting promotional emails all the time from all these different companies, and it's always clogging up your email, well then just you could always just create a brand new email that's specific to shopping online, so you don't have to worry about that. And all your receipts and confirmation emails are in one place and they're not mixing up with your personal emails. That could be a very good option. But once you do fill out this information, they will hopefully find your order in the system. You select the item that you want to return. So if you see down here, once they hopefully find your item in the system, you will be able to select the item and get it print. You yourself would have to print it either in your household, or you can either, send it to someone who has a printer in the house, go to the library and print it, whichever one that you like. Once again, with Macy's, it can be free for shipping labels. However, not all companies have free shipping labels. So please make sure whether or not you are paying a fee or not. You have to make sure for that. Sometimes they add it to your original order or they subtract it from your return or exchange.
I have a question.
Yes.
Can you hear me? It's Grace.
Hi, Grace.
With the Macy's, now I sort of vaguely remember something about, I thought I could take it to UPS and UPS told me that they do not do that. And I have to return it, and I needed to get the shipping label.
Right.
But I was not sure how to handle that label. I kind of became frustrated because I did not know with whom to check.
So right here that I have on the screen, this is how you would get the shipping label from Macy's. And in order to find this page, all you have to do is just say Macy's return my order. And you're going to find this website and you're going to have to just fill out this information. If you have an account with Macy's, like an email address and a password, if you do have that, you do on the left-hand side, I'm just going to, then you have to go here where the circle is and go through that way. If you don't have an account with Macy's, you don't have an email address or password with Macy's, you're going to go over here on this right-hand side of the screen and put the order number either that's in your email or in a receipt. Once you fill out all that information, they're going to find you in their system and provide you with a shipping label that you can print out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and could you, you had mentioned, as I joined, you were just sharing with someone about if you do not have a printer, which unfortunately I have not purchased. So what were you saying the person has to do?
Well, so yeah, if you don't have a
print the label.
Yeah, so what happens is when they provide you with that shipping label, they're just going to send it to your email so you can print it out. However, if you don't have a printer, remember the shipping label is going to be inside of your email. So you can always send that email to a friend or family member that has a printer. Or if your local library allows you to print it out for you, or if you come to the center, we can print it out for you. That's usually how it works. The shipping label stays inside of your email, and you could just, if you don't have a printer in your house, you're gonna have to, ask a friend, to print it out for you by sending the email to them.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. So that's how Macy's works. It's going to be kind of like this for most companies. If you see here at the bottom as well, before we leave this topic, it says that Macy's prints out the mailing label for you for free. You can ship it for free. So you don't have to worry about paying extra fees with Macy's or Amazon. Okay. So with Amazon, it is kind of the same. I'm going to just explain it with this PowerPoint slide here because I don't have my Amazon logged into this work computer, but it is going to work the same. So just like with Macy's, you're just going to put into Google Amazon return order, and it should direct you to the returns center. With Amazon, if you don't know already, you do need to have an Amazon account in order to even purchase items, right? So you can't be a guest and just, you can't shop on Amazon without an account. Only certain websites are still doing that. But with now, you still need to, you got to create an email address and a password. Macy's, you could be a guest, but for Amazon, no. So to return something, you sign into your Amazon account. So whichever specific email address you provided with that specific Amazon password. And then the rest of the steps will be the same. You enter your order number for the item you want to return. So your order number will be either in a confirmation email, it could be in your Amazon account under My Orders. Sometimes it could be in a text message, but mostly your order number will be in an email, or also as well, it will be on a receipt that you got in your when you got the package delivered to your household. So it's going to depend on, where you remember of where you got it. Once you find that order number, it's usually going to be a long 16-digit code. With that long 16-digit code, you're going to it's going to search for your item, and you're just going to select whichever item you want to return. You're going to see a list of all the items that you purchased from Amazon. However, Amazon has many, many companies, right? So it's not just Amazon that's providing it. There's also like international companies on Amazon. So with third-party sellers, you're going to have to submit a return request. What does that mean, submit a return request? So you're asking permission to these third-party sellers, is a return available for this product? The reason why is because, once again, the item was not sold by Amazon, but by another third party, like internationally. There's many companies on Amazon from like China and India, things like that. So you would submit a return request, and they'll get back to you and get in contact with you whether or not you can return or exchange that gift or, present or item, doesn't matter. This works, it's not just for gifts, this works for any items throughout the year. If they say yes, you can return it, then you're all fine. You would either to the local UPS, or if you live by the center, we have Amazon hub lockers in the Nose Crescent Rite Aid. So you would just go there where the lockers are and put your item inside there, and an Amazon person will come and pick it up, and you'll get your money back. But if not, you have to go to a local UPS to send your Amazon package in. Anybody have questions?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Does Etsy fall under the banner of Amazon? And
Mm.
I know a previous class you had gone through the Etsy thing, but I'm not sure about,
So
return.
with Etsy, I could definitely go on the website for you in a few, but it is going to work a little bit with Amazon because Etsy also is third-party sellers, right? So these are all people from different states and even internationally. So each person is going to have a different return policy. So it's really going to depend on what they want to do with their item, whether or not it's even eligible to return. I'm gonna definitely go on Etsy in a few so we could see what they say about the returns.
Thank
But
Because I'm not.
you had mentioned last time that there was something called Amazon Handmade. So maybe
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
yeah,
what you're
yeah.
referring
Right,
to.
right. Mhm.
Yeah. If you get the things from Amazon Handmade, then it is the same with just putting it in the Amazon Hub Locker or UPS. But with Etsy, it would be different. Even when we were looking at the gifts on handmade last time,
Mhm.
some items were not eligible for return. So in the one of the first slides, if you weren't here, Grace, I discussed that always look at the policy before you purchase an item, because not all items are going to give you that 30-day, 60-day policy of returning and exchanging. Sometimes
Mhm.
it's just final sale, while others are, you have to return it because the holiday season is here and they don't really do returns for that. So it kind of all depends of when you first purchased it, or you could always look back at that receipt to even read the policy, because sometimes they change it up. You never know.
Okay.
Okay, does anybody have any questions before I go on? Okay, so with refunds, the factory or the third party seller, like with Etsy and Amazon Handmade, if they do allow returns, I don't know, not all of them will, but if they do, once they get that package back, you will be able to get your refund back in the original method of what you paid it in. So if you paid it in a debit card or credit card, you get your money back. If you paid it with a gift receipt, you will get a new gift card that you could spend the money on. And with some items, if you are returning it in person, so if you're actually going to the store, you may need to show ID to show proof that you are the person that is returning the item. So sometimes you do need that. Not all the time, not all stores say ask for ID, but some stores still do that. So always make sure you bring your ID.
I have a question in
Yes.
regards to ID.
Yes.
Do they hold that somewhere that they have got that information, in their files then on the person returning the item, your personal information,
They're just
like your
going to, yeah, they're just going to see whether or not your ID name matches up with the receipt. So like,
okay.
let's say your name Grace is on the receipt that you purchased. They just want to make sure Grace is on the ID.
Okay, thank
They're
you.
not gonna like scan it or anything. They're
Right,
just gonna
okay,
match the names.
okay.
All right. And then if worse comes to worse and you get confused with printing any shipping labels, or you know you can't access it for some reason, it's always best to call customer service, either through calling them or emailing them directly. Once again, if it is Amazon Handmade or Etsy, which are third party sellers, right, you're going to have to contact the seller directly. So if you were here for the Etsy class, I showed you that when you scroll down, there's a button to actually message the seller. So that's the
Mhm,
person you would have to contact if you can't
mhm,
for some
mhm,
reason find any information on the
mhm,
return or refund policy. You're gonna have to actually contact them, because Etsy won't say anything to you, or Amazon Handmade, because they're not the one who created the item. It was the third party seller.
mhm, mhm.
If it's
Okay.
other websites like Macy's or any other shopping website that you like to find customer service, you can either, if you are on the website, you can search for contact us or about us. If you can't find it that way, you would just put the company's name and the word customer service, and you'll be able to find their phone number or email.
Okay, thank you.
And so one of the common questions that I got was, well, what happens if you don't have a receipt, right? You go to the store and you actually don't have that 16, 17 digit order number. So one thing is, well, see if it is in an email, right? If you don't have the physical copy of it, a lot of things are going electronic. So make sure it is in your email somewhere, whether that's in the spam, promotions, maybe accidentally went in the trash email. Try to find it that way. If it was a gift by somebody else, the gift receipt may have gone into their email, into the gift giver's email. So ask them to find you the email and order number. If you still can't find it through that, remember that sometimes you always have those 30 days to always make a return or exchange. So with those 30 days, you're going to have to go to the store immediately and, tell them your issue, tell them your name, and bring the debit or credit card you made the transaction with, so they can hopefully find you in the system even without that order number. Once you pass those 30 days, it's going to be very hard for them to still find you in the system. So if you don't have the order number, if you somehow it's just gone for some reason, try to get to the store within 30 days, or can go to the store, really try to get in contact on the phone with in 30 days or less, because after that it's going to kind of be hard for them to find you. Does anybody have questions on that?
Yeah, yes.
Yes.
What's this of late? I just saw something about restocking fees. Could you guide us on that, and how can we avoid that?
Where did you
Did
see
you
that?
already cover that? That was today I was reading the Today Show thing, and there was something about restocking fees. If you, some places do not charge and others do, and then something that you mentioned about the 30-day thing, and
Well,
if it's within that, then you don't have to worry, but after that you have to.
what I think what the Today Show was trying to say is that, so after a certain point of time, it is very difficult to, bring the package back without avoiding fees. You know how sometimes they say, well, you passed the 30 days, we can't really accept it. Sometimes these stores will then charge you a fee that you pay, and then so you only get partial refund. You don't get the full refund. I don't know how many stores still do that. I mean, I didn't see this segment on the Today Show. Maybe it's like some stores, because I know now a lot of stores, especially during the holiday season, are not going to accept the gifts after a certain point of time because of how hectic it's going to be. But yes, you can get fees depending on how late bring the package back, where they're going to charge you or take out some money from the original, first time you purchased it, because you were too late. You came maybe 60 days or 90 days or something like that. Or sometimes, like, if they see that the product is not in the condition of when you first purchased it, and you don't have any pictures to show proof that that's how it came, they can also charge you a fee for that, because you may have been the one that damaged the product, unless you have photo proof that that's how it came in the mail. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just going to go over quickly that Etsy refund policy to see the differences with that. And if anybody else on the call wants to shout out any other company to see, their return policies and how that works, I will definitely search it now because the PowerPoint is done. So now it's just any questions. So with Etsy, all you have to do is I'm on Google. You just do a simple Etsy refund policy. And you would go to the first website always. So that's the first website. So once again, this is how Etsy is saying what happens when you want to return a product. So it says that depending on the product that you choose, you have to see the policy of whether or not they accept returns and the time frame. So anytime you shop online, like I said, for any item, doesn't have to be Etsy, always read the policy to see whether or not you get 30, 60, or 90 days. It also says you may have to contact the buyer. So if we look here, so with Etsy in particularly, I showed you last time when you scroll down, there's a message button to contact that seller. You would have to have an agreement with them of whether or not you are able to issue a refund. And it says provide Etsy proof with the shipping for the replacement item. And then as well, there are also articles on issuing a full or partial refund. Hold on, let me delete this. So let's say you read the policy, everything is okay. You get 30, 60 days to return it. The person that you got the product from, allows refunds. You're in the clear for that. Then all you have to do now is follow these steps to issue a partial or full refund depending on their policy, depending on if the product is not damaged. And if it's not damaged, if it's in the clear of how many days, you'll get a full refund. However, partial refunds depends on how late you are, if you used it or something, depending on what you got. But with Etsy, it's going to be the same like Amazon. You cannot get a refund from Etsy without making an account with Etsy. So you're going to find that when you're shopping online in the future, if you start shopping online, many websites and many companies are not going to let you shop on their website without creating an account, which is an email address and a password. Why is that? Because that is just the best way for them to have your information on file for things like this when you want a full or partial refund. If you want a refund or exchange, it's going to be very difficult if you don't have an account with any of these companies, especially if you lose that email with your order number. So just having an account with a website that you always shop on is going to be just very beneficial for you and any trouble or stresses in the future, because you can always have your information there. Even if you're not too tech savvy and you can't find it, even if you create an account and then call Etsy themselves, they'll be able to find your information on file because you have an account with them.
Okay.
So managing your orders on any company, especially Etsy, because you have to create an account with Etsy if you want to return an item. So the same works with Amazon. So if you see here, right here in the corner, you see how it says sign in? That's how you put in your
Yeah.
specific email and your password. So if I clicked on that, if you're familiar, this is how it always looks like when you create an account with any company, or if you just want to sign in to find your information, this is how it always looks like. Your email address and your password. Same works with Amazon. Um, you can see right here, they're identical. Email address, password, Amazon, email, or phone number. This is how you always log in and sign into your account so they can have your information. They're always going to have your order numbers on file. Even if you made the purchase 2 years ago, 3 years ago, they're going to have it on file. That's why it's very important. So if anything happens, even in the future, like with technology products, all of a sudden it messes up. You have the information of when you brought it, the dates, things like that. Because if it stays in an email and you can't find it, and it was years ago, you may not have that email anymore. So with Amazon, they have a bunch of return policies depending on what you're returning. So if I just circle, if you are a person who shops on Amazon, right now this huge red circle is all their different categories on Amazon, and you have to select what is the item you got it from. So is it a handmade item? Is it a photo? Is it from the pharmacy? Is it a baby item, a gift card, a furniture piece? You choose what category the item falls on. So in this case, I'm searching up Amazon handmade. So I'm going to click on Amazon handmade. So it says products sold by handmade makers are subject to the standard guarantee policies. The exception to the items that are purchased with optional customization options. See customized products for additional details. So what this means is that for standard things that you get with Amazon handmade, they are the same exact 30-day, 60-day policy, just like any other item you get on Amazon. However, it gets more complicated once you start customizing the product. So if you added a name, a message on it, an engraving of a name or a message, those are going to change depending on how much customization you did to the product. So if it's like completely unique, you may not get full refund for that product, or if a certain amount of days. So with Amazon handmade, with the specific gifts, once you start making it however you like let's say you said, I want this specific color, I want this specific gemstone, I want you to add this name on it. They may not be able to give you that full refund only because it's so unique, and you customized it exactly like that. You knew that that's what happens once you customize it.
Right.
So when you are shopping next time, it's always important to just read the policy, or even get in contact with the seller before you buy it and say, hey, if I do all these customizations to this product, what exactly happens if I don't like it when it comes in the mail? Like, can I get a refund, right? With Amazon as well, Amazon handmade, you do have the option to contact the seller. It's just that what we learned with in the last class is that Etsy, they you get in contact with them quicker with the third-party sellers. Does anybody have any questions on anything or any company?
No.
Okay. All right. So if no one wants me to search up any other company, that is about it for today.